Hello, I'm Darin Rowell, and today I want to talk to you about why it's important to focus on the role versus the individual. Here's what I mean. So as an executive coach and a senior talent advisor, I'm often brought into conversations with senior leaders about their direct reports, and particularly about the situations where those direct reports aren't meeting expectations. So whenever we get into those conversations, the first thing I do is say, okay, time out. Before we talk about the individual, I want you to first get really clear, explain to me the context of your organization, and then the context of the role. And here's what I mean. So every organization has a unique context. I work with a lot of private equity owned companies. And in that situation, if you're PE owned, you have a very specific investment thesis. You have a pretty specific time frame that you're operating under, and you have some very specific goals that you're trying to meet. That's a really unique context. And the expectations for any role need to sit within that context. However, it's not just for PE firms. You may be going through a major organizational transformation over the next 3 years, or you may be launching new product or service lines or entering new geographies. Every company has their unique context that really shapes what's expected from their senior executives' roles. So we first get clear on what's the context for your company. Then within that context, what do you expect for that specific role? What must that role be able to deliver upon? Now, once we're clear on those things, then we go back to the individual and we say, okay, great, we're talking about John, if you will. Now, let's put John and overlay John into this description of the expectations you have for that role. How good is the fit? Where are there gaps? Maybe John is actually overqualified for that role. The reason this is so important is that it's easy to get confused, the individual and the behaviors and the expectations that you have for them, without having it really grounded in what you need from that role and what your unique company context needs from that role. When you're able to think about it in this more rigorous way, you can be much more precise and clear on if John, in this case, is going to be able to meet those expectations, or perhaps you're the one that your expectations are misaligned with what's actually needed for the roles. And if John does, in fact, have what it takes to fit the role, but there's some development that's needed, then we can be really precise with that development, and we're much more likely to achieve the goals and accelerate the results. So again, to wrap it all up, always be sure when you're trying to set expectations for an individual, you first start with the unique context that your company is operating in within the next 18 to 36 months. And then ask yourselves, with that context, what do we need from this specific role? And only then do you bring the individual back into the equation. I hope you found this useful. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you do find these videos useful, we ask that you follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find a link down below in the comments. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.